Yeah, we actually have another name for the child that isn't the actual name of the child, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect, lovely. Well, Gurmagat Alas Cian Corla. So, look, Minister Rabbit, I'm incredibly grateful that you yourself are here to take this question today. It was of great local and personal importance to myself and my constituents. I had hoped, of course, that Minister O'Gorman would take the question, but I was informed late yesterday evening that he was not in a position to do so, and I'll certainly not waste any time trying to figure that out. So, look, the background to this case is that I visited the Kids Haven creche in Shannon, and I want to give a big shout out to the lovely children there and the fantastic staff who made me feel incredibly welcome, and in particular the owner Siobhan Mulderig. She's been a childcare provider for the past 21 years, and I believe she was the first ever childcare provider in Shannon. So I visited because of a little child that we are calling Alex, who has cerebral palsy, complex needs, and therefore needs specialised equipment in order to fully participate in the creche with their peers, including being able to or being unable to sit unattended without a support seat and requiring a specific room or buddy walker to move and play. Alex, at 2.5 years old, was 3 months too young for the early childhood care and education scheme, which applies for children over 2 years and 8 months. And as such, Alex gets no AIM support for essential equipment. Alex is just like any other 2.5-year-old. They love to play with their friends, sing and take part in activities which are arranged around their needs. But Alex cannot even sit at the table and eat their snacks with the other children due to the lack of a suitable chair. They are currently using a tea towel wedged at the side of the current chair to make it as comfortable as possible for Alex. Alex can only walk around and play if their parents drag this cumbersome walker in with them every morning at 8 a.m. and just point out that it puts the chair at risk of being damaged, and not to mention, I suppose, how quite difficult that is for the parents on any given day. So, Minister, they are sharing a walker from Alex's home, and I'm asking, I suppose, yourself, Minister, is that acceptable? It is interesting to note that there was an exemption for the upper age limit. I know this myself because my own son Travis was able to avail of that exemption. However, there is no exemptions process for the lower age limit, which is what is needed in this case, and I'm sure there are many others. So, Minister, I know that I came into politics because my family were being impacted by policy and that I wanted to make a difference. And I know we're not from the same political domination, but I'm sure you came into politics for similar reasons. And that's what I hope to achieve here today, to make a difference for Alex and to ensure that they are not left in this situation that neither of us would want to see our own children in. I know that in your role as Minister, you would have an understanding and appreciation of the power of non-verbal communication, and that was in abundance at my visit. I could see very clearly that Alex wants to participate in that education setting. They are very bright, wonderful, and if I can say beautiful child, and it was quite a heartbreaking experience just to see the kind of struggles that Alex faces on a daily basis. So I said I would bring this to the floor of the chamber. I did extend the invitation at the time to Minister O'Gorman, and I know that Siobhan would be more than happy to still facilitate any such meeting in the future. It was a bit disappointing that no one from the Minister's department or maybe even the party was able to be present on the day.
So I would like to thank Deputy Wynne for raising this important issue and for offering Minister O'Gorman the opportunity to respond, and I'm taking it on his behalf. So a key objective for the department is for all children to participate in ECCE, or the free preschool programme. The Early Childhood Care and Education programme is free universal 2-year preschool programme available to all children within the eligible age of 2 years and 8 months to 5 years and 6 months. A child must have reached 2 years and 8 months of age on or prior to 31st of August of the relevant programme year to be eligible. The ECCE programme provides children with their formal experience of early learning prior to commencing school. The ECCE entry age of 2 years and 8 months was set based on national experience, a review of international practice and regulations that apply to children of different ages in early learning and childcare. So the access inclusion model was introduced in 2016 to ensure that children with a disability can access and participate in ECCE programmes. AIM was designed and tailored to support ECCE aged children, and as such AIM is directly linked to the ECCE participation. The model achieves this by providing universal support to preschool settings and targeted supports with focus on needs of the individual child without requiring a diagnosis of disability. And I think the Department of Education have learned from that model as well, that you can access education without having that diagnosis. Amongst other things, AIM can provide for advice and supports equipment to children within the ECCE age range, and can also allow for additional educator to support children with higher level of needs. Since its introduction in 2016, 32,000 children have availed of targeted supports, along with many more children who have been identified from universal measures enhancing inclusion in service generally. Government has committed to extending AIM, but developmental work must take place to ensure that supports are appropriate. This view is supported by independent review of the AIM involving over 2,000 stakeholders, with findings that were overwhelmingly positive and noted strong stakeholder support to extend AIM beyond the ECCE programme. The extension is progressing at a phased basis, so there is work underway. AIM was extended from September 2024 to support ECCE aged children to access and participate in early learning and care outside of time spent in ECCE programme, both in and out of term. The department is also developing proposals to extend AIM to younger children. This extension will require a redesign of AIMs to ensure that it meets the different needs of pre-ECCE children, and funding through the annual budget process to meet the needs of younger children. Work in this regard is ongoing, and the department will develop a policy that is reflective of developmental stages of children not yet in ECCE programme, and ensure that the policy is evidence-based on child-centred. And in response to your question to me, I'm sure I got into politics because absolutely I was a manager of a childcare facility where I actually had an open door policy of children of varying needs could attend. That would not have been always the normal everywhere, that children with various disabilities could actually actively entered the front door. I also made my office available for the visiting nurse or the visiting assessment. So I'm very clearly, from 2016 when Minister Sapone brought forward the AIMS programme, I would have been so supportive of it, because inclusion starts at the very beginning, no different to early intervention. And I do think that in the Department of DCD, huge work is underway to look at the pre-2 years and 8 months, and to ensure that we can actually capture all children and equal access for all.
And I do appreciate that information and background there, Minister, and I do hope that maybe, with that in mind, that you'll be able to help me, to help Alex, I suppose. I know you've outlined all of what the department is doing and the redesign, but Alex doesn't have time for maybe that redesign to go through its process and then, deliver for Alex, because I don't want to see Alex spend even one more day in this kind of situation, and it's actually quite dangerous in respect of her eating situation and what's been put in place. And the parents and Siobhan, they've done more than they can possibly do. They've gone above and beyond to ensure that Alex is comfortable, but she really needs, or they really need, the support of the department. And look, I appreciate that there are processes and reviews and everything else can take time, but Alex needs support now, and I really hope that an intervention can be put in place. I did read that you and your department are acceding the optional protocol of the UNCRPD, and I was hoping you might be able to provide a bit of clarification around that, because my understanding is that possibly that means that it will be ratified within 30 days, so you might be able to come back to me on that one. And I know Article 24 of the UNCRPD places obligations on the Irish Government to ensure that people with disabilities are not excluded from education on the basis of disability and can access education on an equal basis, as you have alluded to yourself, Minister. So we need flexibility now on the lower age limit to ensure that children with disabilities and additional needs are supported to the fullest, making Article 24 a reality. We need, as far as I can see, a ludicrous criteria, especially in this case of Alex. It needs to be amended with the utmost urgency, and if that's possible, Minister, you might be able to come back to me in response. I do think a visit from the Minister would do justice, I suppose, to what Alex is experiencing on a daily basis. Gurmagad.
Thank you very much. Because I'm taking on for Minister O'Gorman, I must stick to the script. So it is intended that over time that all children with additional needs enrolled in early learning and care and school-aged children's services will have access to supports under AIM. To this end, consideration is being given by officials in the Department of Children to policy and mechanisms to extend AIMs to under-3s, as well as an extension of AIMs to school-aged children. As noted in the opening statement, it is critical that the response are evidence-based and reflected on the needs of children. This will require tailoring of the aims and differentiation of approaches. In addition, it is worth noting that an independent review of the ECCE programme has recently been completed. Among other issues, it examined the ratios of younger children participating in the ECCE programme and possible flexibility with ECCE age eligibility more broadly. And the findings will inform potential changes to the programme in future. And it is intended that the review will be published in the coming weeks, and the deputies can be assured that this matter under very active consideration, and which, should funding be made available in future budgets. And in the time that I have allotted, let me be as helpful as I can in relation to Alex. So Alex is under 3, is attending the ECCE programme, not attending the ECCE programme, but attending services. I have no doubt he is either under a primary care team or under a CD&T team. I would assume a primary care team is who he is under. I would actually ask the manager to reach out to the local primary care office where an OT might be able to duplicate the chair that is there already. Aids and appliances is what makes life handier for families, but most importantly for that child. I have no doubt as Alex will be growing, he'll be outgrowing stuff, so there should be a recyclability programme there within the HSE. So reach out to see if they could just get the loan of a chair while he outgrows it, would be my response to that. Thank you.